Alright, boys and girls, we are back with the SVX. So today, we got a fun one. We are going through the Brembo swap. We'll talk about that. So, if you have a 92 to 97 Subaru SVX, congrats. You love headaches. But, a good upgrade you can do to it is the Brembo swap. If you guys don't know, a lot of the SVX parts, or a lot of the parts from STIs, can fit on the SVX. I'm going to give you the rundown. I will do the rears only for now, and then when I do the fronts, that way I can actually show you, I'll do a video on the fronts as well. Please excuse the mess. Like I said, I've been, in my last videos, I just moved to this place recently, so I'm here about like 2.5 months now. And it's mid-January in Pennsylvania, so it's a bit cold. I think it's like 15 degrees outside right now. So, hang on. And plus, I got a bunch of parts come. I had a bunch of parts show up at once, so I got like boxes everywhere, guys. But back into this. So, first thing you're going to need to do, there's two ways to do this. You can do it the easy way, like I did it, or you can do it a little bit more. It's a little bit more hands-on, but it's really not that big of a deal, especially if you have a dremel and you're really good with the dremel. You're going to have to chop off or remove that rear dust shield. So when this rear dust shield's on, and by the way, it's only held on by 7 like little tack welds, so it's not hard to rip off. When you go to put it on, if it has those points on the edge, it's not going to allow the caliper to go on. You can bend them back, but I bent it back and it wouldn't do it, and I didn't want to bend it like straight flat back, like at a 90-degree angle backwards, because at that point I'm just ripping it off. You could have ripped, if you cut it like probably right before the first pinch weld, like a straight square off, like same thing with here, it probably would have fit, and you could have retained the dust shield. But this thing's half rusted anyway, so I just ripped it off, and it's not that bad. It just leaves like the little dot there. So that once that's removed, the next step that you will have to fight with it. So I guess we should probably go through with the SVX stuff. If you want to remove the SVX stuff, it looks like it's going to end up being a 14 mil to remove the main bracket bolts that actually hold the caliper and main bracket on to the arm. Then if you're going to swing out the caliper up to pull the pads and stuff, that's going to be a 12 on that end. And then it should be an 11 for the bleeder, or the actual brake screw that holds the line on. It should be an 11 to hold this on. Once you take all that stuff off, you should be able to just pull the rotor right off. Obviously you have to take the wheel off. I'm assuming if you're getting this far, you know how to take the wheel off. Now once you have the Brembos, so the Brembos, we'll go through the parts list quick. The Brembos are going to be 08 to 14 STI Brembos, and that's going to be rears and fronts. The rotors, only for the back, is going to be 08 to 14, and this will literally directly just pop right on, like as you see. 08 to 14 STI rotors, only for the back. The fronts take a different rotor. They do not take the STI rotor. In between the rotor and the hub, you're going to need to run a spacer. It's about a 2-3 mil spacer. The reason for that spacer is it kicks the rotor out just a little bit to center it in the middle of the caliper, so the brakes have an even squeeze. If not, it's going to be further back, and it's going to be basically more inner biased. The caliper, if you buy it new, mine didn't come with bolts. If you bought it off of a part out car, more than likely it will come with the mounting bolts. The mounting bolts are the part number. This is the rear mounting bolts from Subaru itself. I went there and bought them. Just to give you guys a heads up, these little puppies are kind of expensive. They're about $5.10 a piece. So all in all, I think I spent, between the rears and the fronts, I spent almost 50 bucks just in Subaru bolts, which is kind of nuts. But I wanted to make sure they were the right ones, so dealer it was. With the rear hardware though, the front should be fine. The rear calipers, when you're running that hardware through the back, they're too long. So the STI's arm is a little bit thicker, so it's able to like basically absorb the length. This one is, the SVX is not, so that back of that bolt will hit the back of the rotor and basically like try to lock it up. So you'll have to cut off about an inch. I'll get one of my other bolts and I'll measure it. That way I can tell you exactly how much length you'll need on your bolts. Because as you can see, mine still have a little bit sticking out the outside. I wanted enough threads to actually go all the way through the caliper, but at the same time not drag across the rotor. I have tons of space back there. But keep in mind that is probably going to happen. So realistically, the only modifications you'll have to do is either bend back or cut or remove the rear dust shield off the backs, like seen, or you're going to need to cut those rear caliper bolts by probably about that much. Probably as much length as that bleeder. So, and then remounting these on is a 17 mil bolt. If you can see, 17. So 17 will lock the calipers on, and then if I'm assuming you would know how to put this together, but if not, here's a shot of it. The pins go on the inside, the squares are on the back side by the suspension, and the points go through the front. And then obviously you have to bend this tab. I put the top one in first. Well, slide the pads in, level it out so you can slide the pin through them both, so it comes out the side. Put that in. I put this piece in. I slide up underneath, and then I hold it down with my finger over here. Slide that pin in through, and then when you're holding it down, the pin will basically slide over top of it. It basically just locks them together. It's nice. Brembos are definitely nice with pad changes because all you gotta do is pull the pads straight out, slap new ones in. Now, with the setup total, I will drop all the part numbers and links down in the description. I went with NuGeon, who rebuilds the Brembos. It sucks because they do give you a core charge, but obviously they're not going to give you a core charge for these brakes versus the Brembos because it's not the same thing. Here is the OEM setup. Like I said, here it's even close to OEM. Like these points, when you put the Brembos on, the Brembo won't clear. Like it won't be able to come through because of this. So you could either cut this piece off to square it off so that it allows the Brembo to fit on, or you can just do what I do, or do what I did. I literally just shoved the screwdriver down in between there, pulled it back, and it popped. The pinch weld, or the little tack welds, it's only 7 of them, comes right off. If you go with the ones I ordered, these are the NuGeon ones. These guys, they're already freshly powdered, freshly rebuilt, fresh bleeders, fresh hardware in the back for your brake line, which is nice, new copper washers. It'll include all of it, the pins, it'll include everything you need. The only thing it's not including is the brake hardware. You can buy the brake hardware on Rock Auto, but I didn't think about it in time. I got these first, and then it said it would be like almost a week's wait. So I literally live 2 miles away from a Subaru. So I just drove there. They had them in 2 days. And then I found out I had to cut them anyways. So yeah. But just wanted to give you guys a heads up. I will make an update video once all 4 of them are on, so I can give you an idea like, oh hey, it feels awesome and all that. I also will do a separate video on the wiring upgrade because I have to redo this plug, which I'm just probably going to snap it there, and then redo the plug with solder and heat shrink and all that good stuff. I'm deleting this, and I'm doing the main power wires in the 4-gauge Colossus wire, which if you're in the forums, you know this stuff is nice stuff. About 50 bucks in wire, 10 feet. And 10 feet. I already started with my ground wire using the Power Links. Nice little thing. So this will basically replace this one down here. Basically, you put it there, and then obviously on the battery, I'll have a setup for that. And then I will probably add another one, but like I said, another video, and then I'll redo starter wires. And if you're wondering, yes, that is a lightweight pulley. It's about, I think it's 1.2 pounds from Perrin. That is not meant for, it's meant for STI, but it will fit on the SVX, and it still runs the SVX, just so you know. This one, like I said, popped right on. It was about 110 bucks. Alternator is from AutoZone. That's about 160 bucks. They give you, I think it's a $40 core charge. So I'm thinking about keeping that though, just in case, so I can send it out for rebuild. So I have another one on hand before these things stop being sold anymore. Because I already have an extra power steering pump, which I should respray that pulley because it's looking kind of crusty. But yeah. Just wanted to touch base with you guys on that. I have tons of parts coming for this. The aluminum rad's about 2 or 3 days out, so I'll do a video on the aluminum rad install, along with upgrading the hoses to silicone hoses, which, yes, these are, again, STI parts, along with my STI wheels. Guess you could say, be like one of those kids at the car meets. You could practically say it's an STI, you know what I mean? No, I'm just kidding. That was pretty bad. But yeah, so if you guys have any questions, go ahead and drop them down in the comments below. I will definitely keep you guys up to date on all the stuff I am currently doing. Like I said, I got a lot of stuff going on. I got to redo this with the heat shrink and wires and all that stuff. So yeah, definitely let me know. And I will drop the links down below. And if you're not already, subscribe to the channel. We got so much more coming for the SVX. So if you're one of those random SVX guys out there that are just looking to either find parts for it or do this and do that, definitely follow the channel. Because this is my 5th one now, so I definitely got some knowledge to back it up on these things. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Peace, and I hope you guys had a happy holidays. See ya.